Greetings, housemates, and welcome back to Let's Learn Endless Legend. I'm Phwop, and today we're going to be talking about boroughs and city shape again, because it's super important. Alright, so what you're looking at here is a rocky field, which is about to become our second district for the city and self-named region of Entai. So let's take a look. So we selected borough. It's been building for a little while. But what the hell does a borough do, and why do I want one? Okay, here is the lowdown. The city center is a borough. It is a district. They're all districts, okay? It doesn't matter that it's called city center, it's the same. Let's look at the tooltip and explain everything we're seeing here. City center, level 1. Okay, what does that mean? Well, it's explained by, it's explained later. So, note that it's level 1. We'll upgrade to level 2 when surrounded by 4 level 1 districts. What does it mean by surrounded? It means there are 4 level 1 districts adjacent to this district. So you need 5 districts before anything can level up. And it'll become level 2. What does that do? Like I said, later. Okay, let's look at the effects. Remember, this was built on top of a terrain tile, and it didn't eliminate what was already there. So it was built on top of cold forest. Note that the city center, and look at the tooltip in the left, bottom left, the city center reduces the amount of food we get from that piece of land by 1. Fortunately for us, since we're agriculturally challenged, we were already reducing it by 1 to 0. So that's not really a penalty for us. But what else do we get? Well, the 3 bonuses at the bottom, we get 1 science, 1 gold, and 1 influence per turn because we have a city center. So that's good. Now, if you hover over it in the city view, we get nothing. All right. When you hover over the borough in the build queue, you get a little more explanation. Okay, so the borough is a district. We're going through the tooltip here from top to bottom. So it says expansion. Expansion means it's built on a tile, and district means that it can level up. And that it counts for leveling up other districts, right? Our city center levels up when it's surrounded by 4 districts. Borough counts as a district. So what do we get? There's some fluff, and then the effects. So -10 approval from this city tile. That means the whole city's approval is going to go down by 10. And of course, since it's our only city, that means our empire approval overall will also be affected. Fortunately, we're building it near an anomaly, which increases our approval rating. So that's gonna even out. Also, it reduces the amount of food we get from this tile by 1. Unfortunately, that does hurt us a little bit, but we are actually producing enough food thanks to our food producing buildings, or city improvements that is, that it's not going to make a huge difference. But we also are going to get +1 gold, science, and influence, or dust, science, and influence, just like our city center. Now, here's the interesting part. +2 dust, +2 science, and +2 influence per extra level of this district. This is true for your city center as well. That's what level 2 means. It means it goes from giving you +1 dust to giving you +3. +1 science to +3, +1 influence to +3. And of course, in influence's case, that's a big jump. Like 3 influence is way more than 3 dust. Also, you get 20 fortification per extra level on the city. I'm not sure if you actually get some like 20 fortification per level period, but 20 fortification. So city fortification is just going to grow as your districts grow. Also, and this one is the confusing and kind of awesome part, 15 approval per extra level on city tile. Also, it can be used as an extractor. So these things are pretty good. Basically, you can build them on top of anything that's not a ruin and is not a minor faction village. And you can only build one per city on a water tile, and that's your dock. But what this means is your first 4 expansions are going to cost you an approval rating. And then your 5th expansion, if it causes one of your tiles to level up to 2, is actually going to net you a 5 approval gain. And then after that, it can actually snowball to the point where enough of your districts are actually giving you more approval than they're taking away, that your city is happier for being larger. However, it's a slow process to get there. Also note that boroughs get more expensive every time you build one. I believe the cost doubles, so construction rates slow down. Also, you have to have enough population to build a borough. There's just a flat limit. That's what availability means at the bottom of this tooltip. Now, note the necrophages are, the limit is one borough, because there are other types of districts that aren't limited by your population, per population. For most races, it's 2 population per borough, which means we can actually expand twice as easily. Whoa, whoa. This is what I hate motorcycles that are that loud. Anyway, necrophage. Also remember, our boroughs are cheaper by 1/3 than everyone else's. So, let's see this bad boy in action. Let's turn all this off and go to the next turn. So, in addition to all that goodness, we actually gain access to 3 new tiles of exploitation. And that alone is a huge boost. All right, Borough Streets was completed. Empire Mint is next. Note that you can only have 1 borough building at a time, but if available, right after it's done, you can start building another one. So what did we get for our trouble of building this borough? Well, besides more science, gold, and influence, we got access to these 3 tiles, which means 1 science, 1 more gold, 6 more science, 5 more production, 2 more science, 1 more production. So a lot more science, 9 more science. And remember that if you want to see what you've built already, remember we're getting 10% more on top of that, so probably like 10 science. And of course, because our empire is happy, we're getting 15 more, so maybe like 11 science. And 6, probably more like 8 industry. So what did that cost us? It cost us basically nothing, because we actually got some approval from this tile too. So I've built 1 district. How do I effectively go about building more, right? You're like, I'm addicted to this power. I want it all. So the best way to build districts is like so. Remember that you can't level up a district until you've done 5. So the best way to build them is actually so that they claim 3 new tiles. So build out in a line of 3 and then fill in. Because no, if we build in a triangle, what am I getting right here? I'm getting 5 new resources for my trouble. But I'm gonna need 5. If I go this way, I'm getting 14 new resources for my trouble. And sure, I could go this way, except then I'm hitting this border, so I'm only actually getting 2 tiles worth. So this is definitely the next best choice. And then it would be either here or here. Because if I build here, here, and here, then I will have 4 districts surrounding this borough, and or district, whatever. A district is just a tile that is in your city. The borough is the generic version of district and what you build from the city screen. If you want to see an example of a non-generic district. The Altar of Auriga is a district. It takes Auriga pearls, which you get during winter thanks to the new expansion, to build. But when you build it, it's a building so massive that it actually takes up a whole tile. It counts for leveling up your other boroughs or even altars. This can actually be leveled up. As you'll note, the effects are based on a per level. Same for the legendary buildings. These are just fancy, unique districts. This one, of course, gives you lots of approval. And when your approval is happy, note that on Empire approval, you get 20 more science, 20 more gold, and 20% cost reduction across the whole empire. What? And that's per level. Oh no, yeah. So the Museum of Auriga is great. I would love to build one. Maybe I should, but it takes quite a while. You can actually check and see if anyone else is building it. They're not. The question is... so see, this costs 200 production now, so that's double what our last one cost. This cost 5. If I were to build this... Now, the cool thing about these unique districts is that their cost doesn't increase when you build other boroughs. So I could build this borough to quickly gain access to 6 more industry, 5 more science, 3 more food. Of course, it's going to lower our approval to 60. But that's not so bad. And then I can use the industry we snag here to build the altar right here. And it'll be an optimal place to level up when I build our 6th district. So let's do it. All right, so that's going up. We're going to finish the Empire Mint first, but Borough Streets comes in way ahead of the Husbandry Center, that's for sure. All right, friends, that's it. We're on our way to building districts and getting them to level up. I'll come back when this one's about done, and we'll take a look at it. That's it for now. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you got a little more of an understanding about what districts are. Remember, they're just tiles. They're just things you build that take up a whole tile. And what boroughs versus these special districts, what the benefit and cost is, as well as, yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. And until next time, my friends, remember, it's all downhill from here.